Welcome everyone to the Rec Soccer Show, the #1 podcast for adult soccer. I'm your host, along with Eddie, your other host. Today we're going to be talking about transfers and the political landscape of the U.S. soccer. Who's running, who's going to win it. And today I welcome again, of course, Eddie.
Hello guys, welcome to the #1 soccer podcast in Jacksonville.
And again, our little podcast is about talking about local things, anything soccer, and we also touch upon international and club transfers and any rumor, speculation. Of course, we're going to have a lot of predictions of the World Cup, but that'll be down the line. But for now, let's get into starting the show.
Leon Goretzka from Schalke. I'm a Bayern fan, so Leon Goretzka has signed with Bayern for next season. So in Germany, this is very common, not common in other leagues, but in Germany it is very common that in January a player will sign for the club that he will play for next season. So he's already agreed and signed a contract for Bayern, even though he's still a Schalke player until the end of the season. That is very common.
Okay.
Also, he's only 18, I believe. Yeah, he's an 18-year-old kid.
Wait, so he's signing to Bayern?
He signed, yes, from Schalke on a free transfer because his contract with Schalke expires on June 30th.
Oh, I see.
Okay? So he is allowed in January to sign a contract for his next club or Schalke, and he chose to sign for Bayern for free. Which Bayern does this a lot. A lot of clubs in Germany do this, where they sign players for free when the contract expires in the summer or in January. So he's young. He is a very good player in my opinion. Very good midfielder. Excited to sign him.
That's good.
So, I don't see. There are not a lot of rumors going on. The rumors are that, of course, Aubameyang to Arsenal apparently already agreed personal terms, but he did not agree on a transfer yet with Arsenal. And the club, Mkhitaryan to Arsenal as well for Manchester United, and Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United from what do you call it? From Arsenal. That's what I see out there. As far as I'm concerned, I hate. Well, I'm an Arsenal fan as well, but what I hate that Arsenal is doing, Arsene Wenger is purposely waited not to let Alexis Sanchez go this week because the time for him, if he would have signed yesterday by 12 p.m. British time, he would have been available to play on Saturday's game. But because he didn't, he can't play on Saturday, so Arsenal and Wenger will probably sign the deal for him to go to Manchester United on Monday. So then they have a whole week for him so that, even though he's not playing now, they're looking at it. His demented head, Arsene Wenger is looking at it, well, I'm sticking it to Manchester United because they're not going to be able to use him in this game.
And they did that on purpose?
I think he did that on purpose. Wenger is saying they're still negotiating deals. No, you're not. You know what the deal is going to be. You just didn't want to sign it so that he can't play.
That's stupid.
That's stupid. And Theo Walcott went to Everton. That's really the only big ones that I know. I think Aubameyang is refusing to play for Dortmund until they trade him. So he's being an asshole about it. For a club that paid money for him and paid him really well when nobody else wanted to pay him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly he can't, right? Like, come on. Really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, Alexis Sanchez, the same thing, man. He wants the money. He wants the money, and I don't I don't mind Alexis Sanchez, but I know he's doing it for the money, and I get it. I guess whatever. It's a deal. That's all I see out there. I don't really see much as far as transfers yet, but it's still mid-January. But we'll stay on top of that to get any big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as other news, U.S. soccer elections are going on.
Oh yeah, who's they haven't decided that?
No, the election's on February. It is too deep to get into.
Is the president, right?
Correct. There's a couple people running. Realistically, the front runners are Kathy Carter, who also works for some marketing. You have Eric Winalda. They're at a forum and meeting right now in Philly. Eric Winalda, Kyle Martino, and there's another guy who is part of the front runners. In my opinion, I want Winalda to win.
Winalda?
But I think Kathy, because Winalda wants to change the soccer landscape in the U.S., and honestly, he is going to open the game to more minorities, which right now it is not. Anybody who has kids in soccer, in youth soccer, and or went through the system himself or herself will know that the system is extremely closed to
people with money.
Middle class people, and if you really like soccer and you have a local team, you will also know that anybody who thinks that a closed system for the top league in soccer is good for the soccer in the country. I'm not saying it's bad business. I don't even want to argue that part. If you think that the MLS is good business, fine. I'm sure you have numbers to back it up.
Right.
But I'm saying it is not a good system for developing soccer in a country and growing soccer in the country.
And it shows, because look, they're not in the World Cup.
Do you want to make money or do you want to grow the sport of soccer? You need to decide, okay? But I think Kathy Carter will win because she's the establishment candidate. And
see, they got Paul Caligiuri, Kathy Carter, Carlos. They even got Hope Solo.
Yeah, but she's not. I don't know why she's running. She needs the attention. She needs the attention.
She'll beat the crap out of somebody.
She's one of those chicks who needs attention. You know, when you're younger, and you know those girls that grew up. And I have a daughter myself, so I know how I'm raising her. That grew up from her mom and her dad and her uncle and her cousins telling her that, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty every single day. Oh, you're such a princess. You're so pretty. Then when the girl turns 21 and she's going to a bar and somebody's not telling her that she's pretty, she needs the attention. And the first guy to tell her she's pretty, she's going to go with him. You know what I'm saying?
Daddy issues.
No. Raise your daughter's right. And she's the same way. She just wants attention. That's all she wants is attention. That's why she's doing this. Okay? There's plenty of other soccer women in the U.S. soccer who could have ran 1,000 times more qualified than her. Okay? And I love women's soccer, actually. I think, which we should do an episode on this. We should write that down. But
yeah,
women's soccer, if you look at it, is technically and tactically a lot more developed than the men's game.
Oh, easy. Oh, you could tell right away.
Yeah, because they're not as fast physically. I mean, the passing of the women in the women's game is drastically more interesting than in the men's game. Okay? So, there's plenty of women who could have ran by her. I don't even take it seriously. I want Winalda to win, but what I think is going to happen is that because the MLS controls U.S. soccer, even though they don't admit it, and U.S. soccer is fine with it because they're in bed and they make a lot of money. They want somebody who's going to continue the status quo, which is Kathy Carter, and they're going to make money for everybody and they're going to be happy. MLS owners like that as well because it works for the NFL, so why wouldn't it work for the MLS?
Exactly, but the only thing is with NFL, they don't play internationally.
The NFL is a U.S. only sport.
Yeah.
And the NFL is a sport where over 30, 40, 50 years, the NFL has specifically blocked expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in order to make the team, make it what it is. So you can't compare NFL and soccer, but people are, so whatever. I think she will win, and nothing will change.
And which is a shame, a real shame. Because soccer, I mean, if you think about it, look how, I mean, U.S., I mean, when you think U.S., you don't think of them as a powerhouse. But look, U.S. in the first World Cup was in the semifinal, in the first World Cup. In 1950, they beat England. Like, there was always potential for U.S. to be a powerhouse. But they never really took it seriously. By now, they would have probably been Brazil. They would have been Brazil, I would think.
Here's something a lot of people won't say. Look at the rosters from the 50s, the 40s. Look at the rosters when the U.S. was good, so to say.
Even the 90s. Look at the 90s. That was the golden era.
Nationals. A lot of them are Latinos living in California, or Polish people living in California, or Polish people living in New York, right? But suddenly, for these past 15 years or so, U.S. soccer is trying to promote MLS players, and MLS players happen to be just mainly normal Americans because of the way the MLS is set up, where it really only, like, the MLS envisions 300 million kids playing soccer and all of them feeding to 30 clubs and becoming these excellent stars. But who's going to be able to do that? People who have money.
Exactly.
So that's a whole different youth soccer shit.
All right. Well, that's all the podcast we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. And next time we're going to try to make this regular, possibly every week or whenever we have the chance. And what kind of podcast do we have, Eddie?
We have the #1 soccer podcast in Jacksonville.
That's right. So tune in next time. Peace. We'll come up with a better outro, but I guess we'll go with peace for now.